If you want to learn really fast, you don't need talent, you don't need a rich family, you don't need perfect grammar. What you need is courage, passion, and the right way to practice. Before we start, I'm asking you for just 5 minutes to listen to my story. Only 5 minutes. Listen to me for 5 minutes, and you'll realize that the people who told me, you need immersion, you need to travel to England or America, were wrong. I knew something they didn't know. English isn't just a language, it's a bridge to opportunities. My name is Maria. I'm 28 years old, and I live in Berlin, Germany. I work as a software engineer in Berlin. For 2 years, I was fluent in English on paper, but silent in real life. I could write code in English, but I couldn't speak a sentence without fear. At the start of my career, I didn't have money for expensive courses. I didn't have native English-speaking friends. I didn't have the perfect accent, but I had one thing, a desperate need to speak. Then one day, I got an email. Mandatory video presentation next Friday. I had 7 days to change or lose everything. In this story, you'll learn the 7 bridges I crossed to find my voice. Listen to the end, you'll understand everything. Are you ready? Let's begin. My phone alarm goes off at 8 in the morning. My room is bright and cold. Through the window, I see snow falling on Berlin's streets. It's winter. It's silent. It's Friday. I sit up in bed with a splitting headache. 7 days. I only have 7 days to prepare for the presentation. 7 days to fix a problem I've carried for 2 years. 7 days to manage to introduce myself in English. For a long time, I treated English like a monster. I studied grammar every day, I read technical manuals, I wrote thousands of lines of code, but I never loved the language. It was just a task, an obligation, something I needed to do but didn't want to do. I walk to the kitchen of my small apartment. I make ginger tea. The smell fills the empty space. I sit near the window and look at the snow. I think, why can't I speak? I understand everything I read and hear, but when I open my mouth, the words disappear. Then I remember something I heard in a video days ago. A man said, if you hate English, you'll never learn fast. Your brain rejects what you hate. Your brain absorbs what you love. I grab my phone. I open the podcast app. Normally, I only listened to programming content. Always technical, always boring, always obligation. But today, I do something different. I search for a podcast about architecture. Architecture is my secret passion. I love buildings, design, spaces. I find a podcast called 99% Invisible. I put on my headphones, I press play. The host's voice is clear, calm. He talks about old bridges in Europe, about how they were built, about the stories hidden in each stone. And then I smile. For the first time in years, I smile while listening to English. I refused to watch even movies in English because I was angry at my work. But this time, I'm not studying. I'm enjoying. I'm feeling pleasure in listening. I understand maybe 60% of the words, but it doesn't matter. I'm connected. I'm interested. I want to know more. I grab a notebook and write 3 things I love: architecture, electronic music, photography. I decide that this week, I'll only consume English about these topics. No grammar, no obligation, just passion. I download more podcasts. I search for videos on YouTube about urban photography. I add playlists of electronic music with English lyrics. I realize something important. I need to love first before speaking. If English is just work, my brain will keep rejecting it. But if English is pleasure, my brain will absorb it like a sponge. Now it's your turn. Stop this video for a moment. Think about something you love. Sports, cooking, movies, cars, fashion, anything. Say out loud, I love, and complete it. After you finish listening to my story, find one video in English about your topic. Not to study, to enjoy. That's your first bridge. Did you think of something? Good. Oh, we've reached 5 minutes. If you're still here, it's because my story makes sense to you. So please like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. This helps other people like you find me. Let's continue. At 9 in the morning, my computer makes a sound. Zoom meeting. I get dizzy just thinking about speaking in English. I click the link and enter the virtual room. I see my colleagues' faces on the screen. Germans, British, a French person, a Spanish woman, all speaking fluent English, laughing, making jokes, connected. My camera is off, as always. My microphone is muted, as always. I'm just a black name in a gray box. Maria, software engineer. They discuss the new project. They ask questions, they share ideas. I understand every word. I could contribute. Of course I could. But my throat won't cooperate. So I do what I always do. I type in the chat. I agree with this approach. Good idea. I will check the code. Short sentences. Safe. Invisible. The meeting ends. I turn off Zoom. I'm alone in my room. Silence returns. I look at the black screen and think, how long will I keep being a ghost? I remember another video I watched. The man said, "You don't need a perfect conversation partner. You are your first conversation partner." It seems ridiculous. Talk to myself in my empty room? But then I think, what do I have to lose? Nobody's listening to me. Nobody will laugh. Nobody will judge. I look at my desk and I speak. I'm sitting at my desk. It's funny. Every day I hear my voice and don't even notice. But when I speak to myself in another language, I seem like a complete stranger. But I said it. I spoke English out loud. Then I continue. I'm opening a new file. I'm writing a function. This function calculates the total price. Each sentence is a small step. My mouth is getting used to the sounds. My tongue is learning where to touch. My brain is connecting thought and voice. I stand up and go to the kitchen. I keep narrating. I'm walking to the kitchen. I'm opening the fridge. I need water. I'm drinking water. It's cold. I laugh at myself, like a child learning to talk. It's funny, but I also feel something different. Freedom. There's no fear here. There's no shame. Just practice. I go back to the computer. I open the code again. This time, I explain out loud what I'm doing. This variable stores the user data. This loop checks every item. If the item is valid, the system adds it to the cart. In 30 minutes, I speak more English than I spoke in the last 2 years. I realize something powerful. My problem was never vocabulary. My problem was the shock. The shock of going from total silence to public performance. But if I practice alone, the shock decreases. Speaking becomes normal, natural. Now stop. Look around you right now. Are you in a room? In the living room? In the kitchen? Describe one thing you see. Say out loud in English, I see a window, cup, phone. Now describe what you're doing. I'm watching a video. Your voice is your teacher. Use it. Did you say something? Write in the comments what sentence you just spoke. I'm anxious to know. Let's continue. At 2 in the afternoon, I turn off the computer. I need a break. I need fresh air. I put on my thick coat, my scarf, and leave the apartment. Berlin is cold. The snow stopped falling, but the ground is white. I walk through my neighborhood, Kreuzberg. I see colorful graffiti on the walls. I see people entering cafes. I see a dog running in the park. While I walk, I try to think in English, but something strange happens. I see the dog, I think Hund. Then I translate to dog. I see the tree, I think Baum, then I translate to tree. I see the sky, I think Himmel, then I translate to sky. It's slow, very slow, like running with heavy chains on my feet. I stop in the middle of the sidewalk. I realize the problem. My brain is doing double work. German first, English after. This kills naturalness. I remember the words from the video. To be fast, you need to stop translating. You need to think directly in English. But how? How do I kill a habit of 28 years? I see another dog running. This time, I force myself. I don't think in German. I look directly at the animal and think, dog. Just dog. No intermediary. No translation. I look at the snow on the ground. I think snow. Not Schnee, then snow. Just snow. I keep walking. I start naming everything I see directly in English. Car, person, window, building, cold, wind, street, light. At first, it's hard. My brain wants to go back to German, but I fight. I insist. I keep forcing the direct path. After 10 minutes, something changes. The words start coming faster. My brain is reconnecting. It's creating a new path, a path without a translator in the middle. I think about how children learn. A German child sees a dog and thinks Hund. A Brazilian child sees one and thinks cachorro. An American child sees one and thinks dog. None of them translate. They think directly. I need to be like a child again. I need to learn to think directly. I sit on a bench in the park. It's cold, but I don't care. I look around and describe everything in my mind, in pure English. The sky is gray. The trees are white with snow. A woman is walking with her dog. The dog is small and brown. 2 children are playing near the fountain. I feel something different in my brain. It's like a door is opening, a door that was locked for years. Translation is the chain. Direct thinking is freedom. Now it's your turn. Look at 3 things near you right now. Don't translate. Just think the word in English directly. Chair, wall, light, phone, cup, door. Leave in the comments what you saw. Did you feel the difference? That's the bridge. Keep walking on it. At 6 in the evening, I finish my work. I close the laptop. My body is tired. My mind is full. I need to relax. Normally, at this moment, I'd turn on the TV and watch dubbed series. It was my relaxation moment. My moment to turn off my brain. But today, I decide to do something different. I open Netflix, I search for a movie I need to watch, K-pop Demon Hunters. I heard it's the most watched movie on Netflix. I remember all the times I tried to watch movies in English, trying to learn something. I always gave up. I always went back to German. I always thought, entertainment isn't studying. I should be focusing on grammar. But then I remember the architecture podcast I listened to this morning. I remember how I smiled, how I connected, how I learned without feeling like I was studying. I select English audio and no subtitles, just pure English. I press play. The first few minutes are hard. They make jokes. I don't understand all the words, but I understand the situation. I understand the context. And I laugh. I really laugh, out loud, alone in my cold Berlin apartment. It's the first time in years I laugh watching English. I keep watching. I understand maybe 40%, but I'm feeling. I'm connected with the characters. I'm living the story. I realize something powerful. When I feel, I remember. When I study, I forget. I grab my notebook. I write down 5 sentences that made me laugh or touched me. The memories, I want them erased. How am I to fix the world, fix me, when I don't have my voice? It's just social media numbers, not the end of the world. We can't fix it if we never face it. What if we find a way to escape it? Nothing can change until your patterns are gone. After the movie ends, I repeat these sentences out loud. I copy the intonation. I copy the rhythm. I copy the emotion. I'm not just learning words, I'm learning how people speak, how they joke, how they express themselves. Emotion is my best memory. So I decide to choose a series and watch one episode in English every day this week, not to study, to enjoy, to feel, to live. Now think about a movie or series you love. Write in the comments, I will watch blank in English this week. And did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters? What did you think? Make it fun, make it emotional. That's how your brain learns faster. It's 9 o'clock at night. My apartment is silent. The lights are low. I'm alone, sitting on the couch with my laptop. I open Discord. It's an app where programmers from around the world chat. I join an international server about web development. I see hundreds of people online. Some are typing messages, others are in voice channels, talking live. Fluent English, fast, natural. I click on the voice channel called General Chat. I enter the room. My microphone is off, as always. I hear 3 people talking, an American, an Indian woman, a German. They talk about a bug in the code. They laugh, they make jokes, they seem like friends. My hand hovers over the microphone button. I want to speak. I want to participate. But my brain screams, no, they'll laugh at your accent. Your grammar is broken. You'll sound stupid. I stay silent, just listening, invisible, safe. But then I remember something. I remember a child learning to walk. She falls, gets up, falls again, falls 100 times. But nobody laughs at her because falling means growing. Falling means trying. I think mistakes aren't my enemies. Silence is my enemy. I take a deep breath and click the microphone button. Hi, I'm Maria from Alemania. My voice comes out weak, broken. My accent is strong, very strong. Silence for 2 seconds, then the American answers. Hey Maria, welcome. What do you code? I keep talking. I work with JavaScript, front-end, React, and Vue. My grammar isn't perfect. My pronunciation is far from ideal. But I'm speaking. I'm communicating. I'm alive. The Indian woman asks, oh, cool. Are you working on any project right now? I answer. I explain my project. I make 3 grammar mistakes, but they understand. The conversation continues. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Nobody laughed. Nobody corrected me cruelly. Nobody made me feel small. After 40 minutes, I say goodbye. I turn off the microphone, and I feel like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. I just had my first real conversation in English in 2 years, and the world didn't end. Nobody judged me. I survived. I realize something fundamental. Broken English spoken with courage is 1,000 times more powerful than perfect English never spoken. Mistakes are teachers. Silence is prison. Now, your turn. Find one comment or write a new one here on this video. Answer in English. Even if your sentence is simple, even if you make mistakes, just answer. Let's make this video a support network. This is courage. This is growth. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm lying in bed, looking at my apartment ceiling. Street light comes through the window. Berlin is silent outside. I think about the day I had. I think about the bridges I crossed. I think about how, for the first time in 2 years, I feel hope. But I also think about something that always bothered me. I always believed a lie. The lie that I need to be in an English-speaking country to practice English. I live in Germany. Everyone here speaks German. On the streets, in the markets, in the cafes. English only exists in my remote work, and even there I stayed silent. I always thought, when I have money, I'll travel to London or to the United States. Then I'll really practice English. But while I waited for that perfect day, I kept silent. I look around my room. I see my phone on the nightstand. I see my computer. I see my books. I see my ordinary life, my normal routine. And then I realized something powerful. Immersion isn't geography. Immersion is choice. I don't need a passport. I don't need a visa. I don't need a plane. I just need to decide to transform my world into English. I get up from bed. I grab my phone. I go to settings and change the language to English. Every menu, every button, every notification, everything now in English. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'll read "Good morning" on the screen. I'll see "New message." I'll touch "Settings" and "Camera." Small words, small moments, but hundreds of them per day. I go to the kitchen. I grab colorful Post-its and a pen. I start sticking labels on objects. On the fridge, fridge. On the door, door. On the window, window. On the stove, stove. On the table, table. My empty apartment is transforming into a living classroom. I go back to the room. I open my Spotify. I delete all the German playlists. I create a new one. Morning energy, English only. I add songs, podcasts, audiobooks, everything in English. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'll listen to English. While I have coffee, English. While I work, English. While I sleep, English. I'm not in London. I'm not in New York. I'm in Berlin, but my apartment is now English territory. Many people live in English-speaking countries and still stay silent. Many people travel and come back without improving, because immersion isn't being physically in a place. Immersion is surrounding your mind with the language every day. Fluency isn't on a map. Fluency is a habit. Now, do this tonight. Change your phone's language to English. Tomorrow morning, you'll read every notification in English. This is immersion. This is free. This is powerful. Write in the comments, I changed my phone from your language to English. Let's see who does it. It's Friday, 10 in the morning. 7 days have passed. I'm sitting at my desk. My computer is on. The Zoom meeting will start in 5 minutes. 20 people will be there. My boss, my team, company clients, and I'm going to present with camera on, with microphone on, in English. My hands are sweating. My heart is pounding out of my chest. My throat is dry. A voice in my head whispers, "You're not ready. It was only 7 days. You'll embarrass yourself in front of everyone." But another voice, stronger, responds, "Silence kept you safe, but courage will set you free." The Zoom invitation appears on the screen. I click. I enter the room. I see the little boxes with my colleagues' faces. I see my boss. I see the German client. They all see me as a black square with my name. Trembling, I turn on the camera. My face appears on the screen. For the first time in 2 years, I'm visible. I take a deep breath. I turn on the microphone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria, and today I will present our new feature for the payment system. My voice comes out. Not perfect. My German accent is there, strong, clear, but my voice is clear too. I continue. I show the slides. I explain the code. I describe the tests we did. I make 3 mistakes. I say "this data's" instead of "this data." I forget the word efficiency and use speed instead. I stumble on a long sentence, but I don't stop. I don't give up. I keep speaking. 15 minutes later, I finish. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions? Silence for 2 seconds. Then my German colleague, Klaus, says, "Great job, Maria. Very clear explanation. I have one question about the API integration." He didn't laugh. He didn't judge my accent. He understood, and he has a technical question. I answer. The conversation continues. Other people ask questions. I answer. The meeting works. Communication happens. When the meeting ends, I turn off Zoom. I close the laptop. I let out a shout of joy and dance like I'm at an electronic music club. In 7 days, I didn't become fluent, but I became brave. and courage is the first step to fluency. I crossed 7 bridges: love, practice, direct thinking, fun, courage, immersion, confidence. I didn't need a plane ticket. I didn't need perfect grammar. I didn't need an expensive course. I just needed to decide, today I speak. Confidence isn't knowing everything. Confidence is speaking even without knowing everything. Perfection doesn't matter. Communication matters. Now, write in the comments, I will cross the 7 bridges. Tell me which bridge is hardest for you. Love, practice, thinking, fun, mistakes, immersion, confidence. I'll read every comment. We're learning together. Subscribe to the channel if you want more stories like this. Your English journey starts today. See you on the other side.